Exactly 365 days ago, my plane touched down at Narita Airport, one of Tokyo's international airports. For the very first time, my feet walked on Japanese soil while my lungs breathed Japanese air. And let me tell you, I could hardly believe it. Was this real? Was it a dream maybe? I was completely out of it in the most positive way possible. Now in this video, I will tell you everything what happened over the course of the past 365 days. What became of the goals I set exactly 1 year ago when coming to Japan, share my updates, and of course finish everything off with a little outlook on what I plan for this next year/next years. Get ready for travels, stories, anecdotes, mishaps, and a lot more. But first, let us rewind the clock. 365 days. I didn't bring much with me. One big suitcase, a small one, a backpack, and a small handbag. A little bit of Japanese, a little bit of knowledge about Japan itself, prejudices included, a hostel booked for 1 month, and a dream to live in Japan for at least 1 year. That was it. No job, no flat, no friends or acquaintances, no phone service, just a hostel room for 1 month. I guess you could call that starting from zero, eh? In other words, I had a completely blank page in front of me and could literally do whatever I wanted. Hi guys, so I just arrived in Tokyo, Sumidaku to be precise, and now I'm heading out to scout the area and see what's going on here. I mean, this is just amazing, isn't it? All this freedom, all these ideas, all these dreams. Well, it was liberating, but also a teeny weeny little bit scary. First, I decided on 2 things. One, I wanted to document everything to the best of my abilities that happened to me in Japan, and hence Tamaryko and YouTube were born. And 2, I wanted to travel as much as I possibly could. What could possibly go wrong? Of course, as it's being me, I could not decide on just one of these 2, so of course I had to take on both of these big goals right away and at the same time. I explored Tokyo, especially Asakusa, Shibuya, Shinjuku and the Skytree right away in the first few days. I might add, the temperatures were crazy and it was so overwhelming because everything was new. It was my first time here in Japan. Everything is different. If you've ever been to Japan, you will realize that in Japan somehow they managed to make everything different from the West. I had a completely new language to use on a daily basis, and I already planned my first trip outside of Tokyo, which would lead me to Himeji. And I ended up being sick right after about 2 weeks after landing in Japan because I had just completely overdone it. Oh yeah, and I produced my first videos for the channel as well. Speaking of, in 3 weeks, I will celebrate together with you the first anniversary of uploading the first video on the Tamaryko channel. And in order to celebrate, I would love to do a Q&A together with you guys. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. If there's anything you want to know more about. So let's have an awesome Q&A in about 3 weeks time. And back to the video. So there I was, lying in bed and getting healthy again, as my first ever trip in Japan outside of Tokyo was drawing near Himeji. Oh boy, I loved it. The castle is absolutely amazing and it still largely stands in its original form, which is very rare here in Japan. If you want to know more about that, click the link down below in the description to watch that video after you're done watching this one. And Shosha-san absolutely impressed me. And if you've never heard of this mountain, don't worry, neither did I until I actually got to Himeji. But if you watched The Last Samurai with Ken Watanabe and Tom Cruise starring, many scenes were actually shot there. Can you imagine how amazing it was to visit all these places where Tom Cruise and Ken Watanabe had done all this amazing filming, and then rewatching The Last Samurai being like, oh yeah, I was there, I sat on this step and I leaned against this pillar over there. Okay. Enough with the fangirling. I just love The Last Samurai. So, bear with me. But as I returned to Tokyo, another problem began looming right over my head. The first month in Tokyo had gone by so fast, and I had to leave the hostel and move on to my shared house. And this share house caters mainly to foreigners, which made it very easy to move in at a very short notice. So luckily, getting a room wasn't a problem at all. Originally, I thought I would only be staying here for about 2, 3, maybe 4 months before moving out into my own apartment, because honestly, living in a shared house is not really my thing. But then reality hit me. Getting an apartment in Japan without a long-term visa and without a job, near impossible. And even if you manage, the moving costs are, to put it very nicely, insane. So before I could even think about moving into a new apartment or flat or looking for one, I had to get a job. I've done a video on how I found my job, and I can tell you, getting a job came with a lot of advantages. I could finally earn some money from my travels, save up for a proper apartment, and improve my Japanese along the way. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? So I started out as a baito, which is basically a part-time here in Japan, for about 3.5 months. And for context, now we're about in mid-November of 2024 when I started my first job, which is roughly 2 months after first coming into Japan. Being a part-timer had 2 big consequences. Number 1, too little money to move into a new apartment. And 2, the upside, I had a lot of time to travel, plus some money I earned that I can spend on my travels. Oh boy, and travel I did. My next trip was a short day trip to Kamakura, the city famous for this huge sitting Buddha and all those beautiful spots that make you feel like you popped right back into ye olden Japan, like Ingakuchi, Meigitsuin, and so many more. The rest of 2024 was much quieter. I had a part-time work as a baito, made a lot of videos for YouTube, and just like that, the year came to a very relaxed end. 2025 started as quietly as 2024 had ended, a slow and relaxed beginning, of course visiting a shrine right in the morning, even before the sun came up. After that, I focused on improving my videos and planning my next trips. But more than anything, I really missed the snow. And I finally wanted to try out some of these traditional ryokan with an onsen attached. Lucky me, my 30th birthday rolled around and I decided, why not go all in? No, ryokan onsen. I headed to an amazing winter retreat high up in the Japanese Alps in Shiroishi in Miyagi Prefecture. If you've never heard of this town, that's no surprise. It's a very quiet town of about 30,000 people. It's super quiet and tranquil, so absolutely relaxing, exactly what I wanted. It was the perfect escape from all the hustle and bustle of the megacity that is Tokyo. Plus I got to enjoy the amazing hospitality of a traditional Japanese ryokan and soak in hot springs whenever I wanted to. A whole week of pure bliss. And I even made a video about the trip, so if you want to see more of that, just find it down below in the bio. And honestly, is it weird if I say I loved this video and the one about Himeji? Anyway, after my travels to Shiroishi, I only managed to do one more trip to Kawagoe, which is also called Little Edo, as in March I joined the company that I had worked as a part-timer for, now as a full-time employee. Well, what can I say? At the beginning it was nice. You know, finally earning money, no longer having to rely on my savings at all. But with insane commuting hours of up to 2 hours one way, extremely long working days, and no paid leave, it got pretty tough pretty soon. Many work days I would just commute, work, and sleep. That was it. Maybe squeeze in some ideas for YouTube because I still wanted to keep my hobby alive. I still love making videos. And dare I say, I managed it. But the hardest part, no more travels. I simply had no time. And one day trips only, well, there's only so far you can go in one day, so I decided to hold it off for a while. Still, this year was absolutely amazing. Looking back, there were so many personal highlights this year. Of course, traveling was a big one. Even though I could do way less than I hoped for, I loved discovering new places, the onsen experience, the charms of old Japan in Kamakura and Little Edo, and the breathtaking sights of Himeji and Mount Shosha. Each trip gave me a ton of energy and reminded me why I came here in the first place. Another highlight was definitely the people. I met so many amazing people here, and I'm so happy and grateful that some I even got to call friends. Without them, I have to say this year would not have been half as special, so thank you to everybody who has been supporting me throughout this year, either here in Japan or back in Austria. To all my friends back in Austria and my new friends here in Japan, thank you so much for being with me on this journey. You made this year truly unforgettable. Love you all. And of course, setting up my life here in Japan from scratch. It wasn't always easy, and I had a ton of doubts, way more than I care to admit. But looking back, it feels like a huge amount of achievements, and I can definitely say I'm proud of it, and I would do it all over again. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. I definitely underestimated how slow bureaucracy is here in Japan and how expensive moving within Japan actually is, like the initial costs for moving into a house. Another thing I regret, not joining any associations or clubs as soon as I moved into my new housing, because I was convinced I would move out way faster than I did. So lessons learned, sometimes it's just better to join an association or just get started, even if the situation is far from perfect or you're already planning to leave. Who knows how long you will actually stay here. Looking ahead, I have so many amazing things planned. I will definitely continue making videos here on YouTube because I love creating content for you guys. Thank you so much for all your support throughout the past year, and I hope you will stay with me in the years to come. There's some awesome new videos brewing, tons of ideas cooking in my head, and of course, you guys will be part of all of it. Yes, I have more trips planned. Yes, my video backlog is growing by the minute. And yes, some really cool things are definitely coming your way pretty soon. Regarding housing, this year I definitely want to move into my own apartment. And yes, it's been a bit delayed, but I will definitely make it happen because I'm absolutely determined. If you have any tips on how to find good housing, please leave them down below in the comments, maybe also some websites or other ideas. Anything you think might help me. Thank you so much, I would really appreciate your help. I'm also working on some videos what it is like to work in Japan and my future as an employee here. So where to next? For now I'm still staying in Tokyo and I'll keep exploring this megacity and all the opportunities it has to offer. And yes, there are plenty of plans brewing. I'm not really good at cliffhangers, am I? Yeah, I need to work on this. Anyway, this year taught me that Japan, as beautiful as it is, can be extremely brutal, especially when it comes to bureaucracy. Things moved much slower than I had initially hoped, and I unfortunately did not achieve everything I wanted, especially like the apartment, for example. But at the same time, I also accomplished so much, and I'm really grateful for everything I managed to tick off my to-do list here. I mean, after all, it's my first time building a life from literally zero in a completely new country. And looking ahead, my goals for the next year are to keep improving my Japanese, find a new apartment and community, travel more across Japan, keep growing my YouTube channel, and share my crazy ideas, fun stories, and awesome adventures with you guys. I love Japan, I love the food, I love the people here, and I love the experiences I've had so far and those that are definitely to come. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, please leave a like so I know you enjoy this kind of content. Also, if you're not already subscribed, please make sure you're subscribed so you're updated anytime I upload a new video. Right now, videos or shorts are dropping every Thursday. Once again, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Mata ne!